What's up everyone, it's Peace the One back yet again with a new video. I think we can all agree that 2023 has been truly the year of One Piece. So that is why me and my friend today are going to do a quick recap on everything that has occurred this year, from the anime to the manga. So please make sure to subscribe right now if you haven't already, and let's head right into the video. Weebotrocity. Okay, so once again, welcome everyone to Weebotrocity episode 6. I'm joined once again by Silent Kid. Welcome to the show, Silent Kid.
Hey, hi, how you doing? What's good, everybody?
Okay, so firstly, Silent Kid, let's start by reviewing One Piece live action. Now, if you could remember correctly, in the last 2 years or so, we did make a video previously based on the One Piece live action. Viewers at home, if you haven't checked it out yet, please do after checking out this video. I'll leave the link to it in the description, also like at the end of the video. So like, what I'd like to talk about first is the fact that the One Piece live action changed a lot when it comes to One Piece, right? It changed the pacing, right? When it comes to the pacing, originally the live action was set to have about like 10 episodes, but it ended up decreasing to 8. Reasons to this is because of budget. The budget was not enough, and I guess it makes sense because, like, if you could remember correctly, they did a lot. Okay, I remember looking at one interview in which they said that you see Shanks' ship, remember Shanks' ship?
Yeah,
Yeah, so what happened is that at first they literally were telling Oda, we don't want to build this ship, okay? It's gonna be too much on the budget. We actually want to extend the episodes, and then Oda denied that request and said no. Shanks' ship really plays a huge role into this, so please keep it. We need that ship. And they were like, okay, Oda, your word goes. But how about this, Oda? Let's make a deal. Let's change and spin it off a bit and say Along meets the Straw Hats earlier on in the story, just so that we can get the pacing correct. And I think that was one of the greatest decisions they ever took when it comes to like writing the story. Yeah?
one of the greatest decisions that they actually made when it comes down to the live action one. I think East Blue is 70 episodes in the anime, if I'm right.
Yeah, somewhere around like 70, 80, somewhere around there.
So to be able to spread it out to 8 episodes is actually pretty genius, whereby basically it makes it much more simple and digestible for everybody else.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why One Piece live action ended up actually ending in the top 10 in 92 countries. That's like literally a goal of which like many series out there are unable to achieve. And also talking about other series, let's get to the animators. Remember, the animators was like, when it comes to the live action adaptation of an anime, and then it ends up being trash and everybody trashing on it and say they don't like it. Well, One Piece was one of those shows which ended up ending the anime curse and proving a point that it is possible for an anime to get a live action adaptation. Although One Piece has like its quirky type of art style and look, we should really appreciate how the writers, the editors, and everyone, like the set team, worked on this show.
Yeah, I'm actually like proud that like how it actually looks because it actually surpassed Dragon Ball Evolution, which
Uh,
we don't need to talk about.
yeah. No, we don't need to talk about. We already talked about it like in episode 1, so no, let's just leave that in the past. Okay, so now let's talk about the characters from the live action. From like all the characters we have seen from each episode, which one would you say was your favorite and why?
Either Zoro or Buggy.
Okay. Why Zoro? Why Zoro?
Okay, the the way he just carries his swords and then afterwards actually just his acting, and plus from how he actually portrays the actual character, is actually pretty good.
Oh yeah.
And for Buggy, I'm not gonna lie, it was just the fact that like he was pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
And you're right, he was a great performer, bruh. Like when it came to his opener, the first fight scene between him and the Baroque
Mr.
worker,
4 or Mr. 7?
It was Mr. 7, right?
Yeah, I think so. Or
Yeah.
Mr. 4. I'm not sure.
Yeah, nah. I don't think it was a lower number. It was a lower number. I think it was a higher number, like 7, 6, somewhere around there.
Yeah, let's go with Mr. 7. If
So,
anybody has the answer, correct us in the comments.
So yeah, that fight scene actually stood out the most for me. Okay, it stood out the most throughout the other fight scenes which Zoro had, because like I feel like they were missing something, and hopefully next season we might get a little bit more of development on like Zoro's fights, like many more like epic fights with Zoro, because like the only fight scene that stood out for me was like Zoro versus Mr. 7 and Zoro versus Mihawk. Yes. And now my favorite character is the same character you loved, okay? Buggy the Clown. I mean, like, you have to give it to Buggy, okay? The actor literally portrayed Buggy, okay? In each and every single essence, I saw Buggy, bruh. Like, it was like the Joker, but at the same time, it was Buggy the Clown with his goofiness. And like, there was some scenes in which Buggy left hints. Like, for example, remember that one scene where Luffy was being punched by Buggy, like in like the circus club?
Yeah.
So like in that specific scene, if you can play it in slow motion, Buggy ended up giving Luffy the middle finger. I don't know if you've seen that detail yet.
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh no, I remember that. Oh god.
You remember that? Oh.
Yeah, I remember that.
And like the amount of times that he continuously gave everyone middle fingers, like really made him into such a nice, hilarious character, bruh. Like, Buggy the Clown. He was truly playing the role of a clown. Let's get right into it. Season 2. Yeah,
Okay.
Still working on it.
Here's my thoughts. Okay, so probably we're gonna basically get to the Alabasta, and I hope that the pacing for Alabasta is better. And I wonder, like, who are they gonna cast for like Jonah D. Ace? I mean, Forecast D. Ace, Go Robin, and plus how they're gonna do Chopper.
By the way, on that topic, a lot of fans have like put out names out there, okay? They put out people which they would love to see act out specific characters. Like, for example, some of the Baroque works, people have like set out specific people that they want to see playing the Baroque workers, right? And also when it comes to these characters in particular, I'm talking about Chopper, Robin, and Smoker. Now those characters are like somewhat like the main characters of season 2. I think we're going to see, because like I don't think we're going to see Alabasta in season 2. I think like season 2 is just going to end. I'm saying, remember after like the cliffhanger showed a certain character, Smoker, right? Now I think that we're going to get like episode 1. Here's how the episodes are going to be laid out from my own like theory, right? So I think that episode 1 is going to be Locktown, right? Then episode 2 is going to include the Laboon chapters being covered, including the Whiskey Peak, right? Then episode 3, the end of Whiskey Peak, the Straw Hats escaping with the princess. Then in episode 3, we're also going to get an introduction into the Little Garden arc, and the Little Garden arc is going to span over into the next episode, which is episode 4, and it's going to end there with,
Dorian Bragi.
Yep, and another particular character getting sick. I don't want to spoil that too much. And then in episode 5, what I think is going to happen is that they're going to go to Drum Island, where they're going to meet their doctor, their dear loving reindeer.
Wapo, Chopper, Dr. Kareha.
Yeah. Then in episode 6, I think like we're gonna get like an ending to Drum Island and a certain crew member joining the crew. Then we're gonna end with a cliffhanger of Robin being revealed. Then at the end, I think we're gonna end with like episode 7, because I don't think they're gonna get that much budget in. Like, I don't think the budget will just be able to cover Alabasta. Okay, Alabasta is an important arc, if you can remember correctly.
So you're telling me that season 3 is gonna be like a whole entire Alabasta?
Nah, not the whole entire Alabasta, but like Alabasta. Then halfway through, we're gonna get, Sky Island, like some of that. But
yeah.
At the same time, I'm denying this theory. Okay, I'm like saying, what if?
But then at the same time, you would have to like introduce Doflamingo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm denying this theory. At the same time, I'm like somewhat in denial with this theory.
We don't know how One Piece pacing works in live action.
Yeah.
Live action more or less compresses it to like have like simplified conversations, whilst the anime just absolutely just spins off. But I'm not gonna lie, when it comes down to it, the pacing for like the live action is actually good compared to the anime. But still, they're not gonna beat the pacing allegations, especially after the Gear 5 stunt.
Okay. We will talk about the Gear 5 stuff later on, but now let's come back to the characters, right? The main characters who are like kind of main characters that we need for like the plot of season 2 to work out. The first one is Smoker, which has already been teased a bit, even though it has been said that they haven't casted Smoker yet. I know you have seen the cliffhanger and thought maybe there's a Smoker character, but no, not yet. Then the second character we need, Chopper, right? Now when you think about Chopper, you're like, wait a minute, the CGI. Remember like some of like the fan-made arts of Chopper?
I remember that, and I wanted to throw up.
Like that's how it is.
It was like ugly. It was like watching Ugly Sonic. Remember, like the Sonic movie was being promoted, and afterwards they had Ugly Sonic. They decided to change the model, the whole entire movie.
Yeah. I remember. We had like a whole entire Ugly Sonic, and yikes, that scared a lot of people. Now, when we looked at a couple of like fan-made arts based on live-action Chopper, some are ugly. Some look like Sonic the Hedgehog on like different types of steroids, and some just look like Pokemon. But at the same time, we are not sure what's gonna happen in season 2, Hopper CGI, because I feel like it's going to be costly, considering the fact that Chopper is like not a side character, but instead is like part of like the main character story, right? And he's gonna appear a lot in the series, especially in Alabasta.
I feel like for just a joke, they're just gonna like hire a raccoon dog, like an actual raccoon dog.
Imagine if Oda does that though. The person that I've researched about and found out to be like rumored to be the next Robin who's going to play Robin in the live action is a couple of like actresses. I mean, they go by the name. The first one we have here is Anya Chalotra, which is like an actress from The Witcher. If you are a fan of The Witcher or watched The Witcher on Netflix, you may know her. And then the second character, who I really, really almost certain is gonna be casted as the next Robin is Erin Melanie. And the reason to this is because like her recent social media, she posted a story on Insta with Robin holding like a poster, right? And with like it saying chopper and this and chopper that. And now she also changed up her profile picture to the same pose as Robin did. Like, bruh, don't you think that's enough of a clue that that she's gonna be the next Robin? Don't you think that?
I've learned not to get my hopes up whenever I am not gonna get my hopes up.
So you're not gonna like believe that she might actually be the one.
Nope.
Okay,
Keeping
okay.
them low basically makes me have high. If I get high expectations, I'm gonna be pissed. If Because like if I thought it was her and it's somebody else who does not fit the bill, it's gonna be like a Beckman situation.
Oh, Backman! Oh my goodness! No, get out my! Oh no, Backman! Backman is giving me like trauma. Okay, Batman forced me to use bleach on my eyes because like nah. They messed up my boy. Okay, they messed up Backman. Okay, they messed up the OG. They messed him up. Okay, they made him look like
Yeah,
his lower rank than Yasop. They made Yasop cooler than Beckman. Question. From the two characters, like from the two actresses, who do you think will fit the Robin role? Just from the looks, From the two, from the two actresses, who do you think will fit it?
I'd say I'm gonna say Aaron because of like the social media post and it actually looks accurate. But
Yeah.
then Anya actually like Anya's actually on point. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know, right? And at the same time, I did research a bit like of some interviews with Anya being there, and I listened to her voice, and I was like, you know, that may be Robin, but at the same time, I was like, nah, we may want Anya to be the next Robin, but in actuality, we're just gonna get Erin, Melanie, or maybe just another person. But just as you said, let's not get our hopes up, and end up getting upset with like how things are
Yeah,
going. Let's talk about the anime. The anime for this year
mm,
for One Piece. Firstly, congratulations. We have done it. We have done it. We have gotten through Wano. Wano arc has come to a conclusion after 4 years in the making. After 4 years in the making, bro. Who would have thought? Who would have thought
each
that we would get this far?
each and every single month, getting episodes, wanting more, trying to figure out what's gonna happen.
Then ending up with a whole entire hiatus or a long-term break because of a festival or because of this specific holiday. Oh my goodness, we went through it all, bro. We went through it all. When it comes to Wano, right? I think Wano was just like too stretched for its own good. Okay, remember like in the middle like of Wano, in the middle of the arc, we had like a ton of flashbacks, of which I think like were not necessary. Like for example, during like Onigashima, we had a ton of red bean soup flashbacks. Okay, like were they necessary? Or like I know they were trying to not to catch up to the manga, but at the same time, like I think
But as I said before, One Piece is not denying the pacing allegation.
like like I almost quit along the way, okay, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna stay loyal and then go with it. Maybe it'll all be worth it. then then it was. At the end, it was, man. It was, man. It was all worth it. The wait was worth it. Okay, the patience was worth it. It paid off because Oda the animators back in toy animation, they cooked up one of the greatest animations that I've ever seen this past year, man. Like, if you could remember, we have received one of the best fight scenes from this year alone. We have received Yutga's Kid, Trafalgar Law versus Big Mom. We have gotten Zoro versus King, Sanji versus Queen. Like, those were one of the best animations I've seen from this year's anime. Now. Question is, after like everything you have watched, right? From the fight scenes from Wano, which one was your favorite?
I gotta give it to like Go King.
Zoro versus King. Now, see that one?
Yeah.
That one is like my second favorite, okay? Second favorite because Zoro got resurrected and all that, and that actually looked cool. But then, what takes first place for me, what stood out for me the most was actually the fight between Big Mom and the Worst Generations, Yutga's Kid, and Trafalgar Law. Like, bro, if you remember that, I don't even.
I mean, you have a young, not a young an Emperor of the Sea versus two of the worst generations with both their devil fruits awake.
No, like, look at this. At some point, there were like some points in which it seemed as if Big Mom was defeated, right? And then boom, we get hit with a thing that says, no, Big Mom is still alive and still kicking strong. Like, you see those moments? They literally kept me like on the edge like of my seat. I was like literally biting my nails, like scared, like when is this going to end? When is this going to end? When is Big Mom going to get defeated? Because it took a while, but at the end, the final animations were all worth it, man. Yeah.
One thing that, like, at the final fight against Big Mom, did she run out of hockey, or did she not try to use her hockey? Because if she did, I think she would have been much more durable, though.
No, I think it's because like at some point Big Mom used too much of her devil fruit ability, and I think since like Haki may is Haki.
Dude, last I checked, hockey is like a different thing from like actual devil fruit powers, because Luffy can use hockey whilst he's punching.
Yeah.
I was like, see, here's the thing. We've seen Luffy fight with hockey on his arms and like protecting himself multiple ways.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
afterwards, remember like what was this? The jail training.
Yeah.
Whereby he was just using hockey on his own.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say, and at the same time, I'm like, maybe it was just for the plot. I think there are some fans out there who are saying the same thing you're saying right now, saying why did Big Mom not use Armament Haki right at that moment? But might have been for the plot, you know? Might have been for the plot. The animation, which I think really stood out, Gear 5 Luffy.
The Drums of Liberation.
The Drums of Liberation. Zunezu, Momonosuke. Can you hear them? The Drums of Liberation. They are here. He's here. After 800. Oh my goodness. Now see, that specific scene got me hyped up. More hyped up than when it got on the manga.
I'm not gonna lie. The moment whereby Luffy just said he can hear his heartbeat, and then afterwards just felt his heart, and then afterwards everything just felt like a rainbow. I felt like that was like a fever dream. Yeah, then bro clapped everything, and then afterwards we knew he was standing on business.
Yeah, like the whole entire thing felt like a fever dream. Like from the sounds and Luffy fighting with Kaido, like it looked goofy, but at the same time, we have to thank Warner Bros. Who were like some of the animators from Warner Bros. Partnered up with toy animators to make this all possible, right? If it wasn't for them, none of this wasn't going to be possible. But thank goodness they were part of this project, because they have done well with portraying Luffy's character in Gear 5 form.
I'm not gonna lie, Gear 5 was actually pretty goofy as heck. Like, I do not know. Like, the first episodes were like, Gear 5 was not as hype as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. I understand what you mean. I was like, wait, what? First episode is like this, and then I was like, now I have to wait a whole entire week for a new episode? No, I can't. I need episode now. I need the episode now. Bring out the episode, and then I had to wait like for a whole entire week. Then back to the hype once again. And bruh, I understand how you're saying that the fact that you're saying it's goofy, because remember one of those scenes in which Luffy was just toying around with Kaido at some point, like the scenes in which Luffy used Kaido as a skipping rope, the other scenes in which Luffy ended up just bouncing around like the whole entire Onigashima rooftop, or the other scene in which Luffy was running from Kaido with a somewhat ridiculous Looney Tunes type of run.
Dude, that whole entire fight just felt like a fever dream.
Like, it was crazy. Like, that animation was just on point. Like, everything. I just enjoyed not the first episode, but I enjoyed the rest of the other episodes where Luffy continuously fought with Kaido. Now let's start talking about what's gonna happen next year when it comes to the anime. Firstly, we have a One Piece remake which is up and coming, called the One Piece. Yes, you heard me right. It's actually the One Piece. Some of you may have already heard about it. The studio which is going to be working on this is Wit Studio, which has also worked on a couple of seasons of Attack on Titan. Somewhere around until season 3, they worked on the seasons for Attack on Titan, and from watching Attack on Titan and watching the animations, I think that studio is good. I think it's great. Okay, I think it's great that One Piece is getting reanimated, even though it's just gonna be the East Blue Saga for now. I think it's good. It's going to call in more of a fan base of which is going to respect One Piece. First of all, because a lot of people don't respect us. They're like, it's too long and whatnot. But guess what? Wit Studio says they'll make sure the pacing is correct and it works with modern day anime.
Okay. Peace. On that note, I hope the pacing is actually pretty good. But yeah, One Piece is pretty long compared to like Naruto and Bleach.
Yeah, cause if you like look at it, the Wano arc on its own surpasses a lot of anime. Okay, like a lot of anime out there have hundreds of episodes, but Wano tops them with like somewhere around 185 episodes. That's like a lot.
But here's the thing: whereby I was saying like Naruto and like Bleach, because we're talking about like canon material, because most of One Piece, whereas Naruto is like practically like 45 or 47 because of Boruto, and like half of like Bleach is 45% filler. So that's why a lot of people are saying like, yeah, One Piece is too long.
But then another anime which is going to be made, which is related to One Piece, is the one shot which Oda worked on back in the day, back in the 90s, called Monsters. They're going to work on it, and it's going to start this upcoming January.
Monsters is going to be a recap of the life of Ryuma.
Yeah.
Most of you who have watched it, you know who Ryuma is. But if those of you who have not even gotten there, Ryuma is well, you know what? I'll leave you to watch it. I'm not even.
Yeah,
I'll leave you on
cause
a cliffhanger for this one.
if any of you want to check out the manga for monsters, I will try and leave a link in the description and you can check it out for yourselves. So now, without wasting any time, let's get to the final discussion, which is the manga for One Piece in 2023. Okay, so now, firstly, I would like to. We have a lot to talk about when it comes to the manga, but I've tried my best to summarize what we need to talk about. So first, right, the Sabo agenda, okay? Because we had a lot of it this year. We had a lot of mysteries, cutbacks, and cliffhangers with Sabo in them, if you could remember correct.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So if you could remember, firstly, Sabo. Sabo. He seems like a normal, average guy, Luffy's brother, right? A revolutionary commander, right? He seems kind of pretty normal, but no, boom, we get sent off with news that mysteriously he killed King Nefertiti of like Alabasta Kingdom. What? Why would Sabo, the revolutionary, the hero of the people, the face of the people, go on ahead and kill a king? Even after he just got world fame and love from people, like that didn't make sense, right?
It didn't make sense, especially after like the fact that like they said like, oh, he's dead or he disappeared or something like that. After
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
many years of
yeah.
people who his brother, and I'm talking about Luffy. I mean, and then afterwards, like the mountain bandits, the people in Lorelona village, all of them basically being confused about Sabo's act.
Now, the thing that really hurt me this year from this is that we had lots of breaks when it came to like the continuation for Sabo's story arc. Okay, it was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks of a break to get this continuation of the next chapter to find out the truth, and then boom, instead we got like somewhat of a cutback to Egghead, right? But then boom, week later we go back to Sabo and we finally find out that Sabo didn't actually kill the king of Alabasta, but instead he found out something he wasn't actually supposed to find out, Silent Kid, and that actually landed him up in very bad situation. He fought with the world, and when I mean the
Very
world,
deep water.
he fought with the literal world.
I mean, Luffy's doing that as we speak. I mean, now we know who's the superior brother.
But like, no. Listen. If we're gonna talk about the superior brother, we have to give that role to Sabo, right? Because he survived 5 elder stars, okay? 5 elders, of which have unidentified devil fruit abilities or powers. We don't know. Are they devil fruit abilities or are they just powers? We don't know. We are not sure yet. As of yet, we are not sure about what they are. But he survived 5 elders who apparently, if they just look at you, if one of them just looks at you, your head explodes. But Sabo's head did not explode. I don't understand that logic. How does it work? And question, how did Sabo run away from the 5 elders, including Emu? Like how? Emu, who was able to destroy an island, that Emu. Like, explain to me that. What are your thoughts on that one, Sabo?
Okay, so more or less, maybe Sabo figured out a way to be able to avoid their their ability. Maybe it's because he has the ability of hockey, or probably the fact that he is a Logia, because he's a Logia. Maybe because of that.
But yeah, it may be that, but at the same time, we are still left with many questions. Like the other question, what is Emu's weapon? The island destroyer, right? Let's talk about that because there's this certain theory connected to that island destroyer. Remember Ine's lobby, right? Remember it, right?
Yeah, I remember Annie's lobby.
So remember, it has a big hole of which we still don't understand how it came to be. But then, after we seen what Emu did with his weapon, his or hers weapon, it may be that the same weapon was used to create Ine's lobby. But in a way, what I think, my theory is that Ine's lobby was used as somewhat of like a test island for like the weapon, but it didn't actually function very well to kill the whole entire island, and instead it just exploded specific parts and then left other parts like ruined and just standing there floating. I don't know how it defies gravity itself, but I guess maybe it's some difficult ingenuity added to it for some reason. But what do you think about it?
My best guess is that it's probably an ancient weapon.
Yeah, but then like, what do you think about when it comes to the connection it may have with NIS lobby?
Well, probably my best guess is that, well, since if you look at Annie's lobby, the water keeps going down, and plus it floats up. So my best guess is that the island itself is not disappeared, just like how it did in Skypiea. The island isn't actually disappeared, it's actually up. But in this case, it's down.
I think I may get that a bit. Yeah. That may actually work. But speaking of like crazy theories and crazy other facts, God Valley, the God Valley incident, finally, after all these years of being told about the God Valley incident many times, we finally got the flashback. Even though we did not get the fight scene, we got the flashback. I mean, like, we have to appreciate something, you know. And the flashback by itself,
Yeah.
even though it wasn't enough, I gotta say, man, it was enough for me. It hyped me up, okay? It hyped me up. Seeing all those characters coming up on that island, I was like, let's go. Let's go. It's about to get down right now.
I'm thinking that probably Aokiji is a secret spy whereby he actually acts as if he's not an admiral, so he has much more freedom to do whatever he wants, which was a deal that he made with Akainu, because he knows that Akainu may be evil, but not evil. He knows what needs to be done, but he also knows what might not need to be done. I mean, he's the same person that Oda said that he could be able to find the One Piece within a year or something like that.
Ooh, okay. But at the same time, you have to also consider the other speculation that it may be that he is actually part of the Revolutionary Army, or but that may not work out. But he may actually be part of the Revolutionary Army and working for them in secret. Think about it.
Okay, but then how? Okay, yeah, that would be a plot twist. Not gonna lie, but all of these theories, like, why is Kizaru basically the most chill out of everybody here?
Okay. So I did watch like a whole entire video going on about Kizaru explaining his character. So Kizaru, yes, of course Kizaru acts like a carefree man and stuff like that, but it may be because Kizaru has had a happy life. Now, I want us to dive into Egghead, right? Let's dive into Egghead for a minute, right? Now, all along we've been seeing Kizaru being a carefree man who doesn't like care about anything but only acting as if he's a puppet for the world government. But think about it, in Egghead we've seen a bit more of the emotional side of Kizaru. Like, look at it this way. Firstly, Kizaru was ordered to fight off was it his nephew? Yeah, I think it was his nephew. He was literally ordered to fight Sentomaru, which he didn't want to do, and he was like, please, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And that was like one of the first time we've seen Kizaru showing emotion, like no longer being carefree but being concerned for once. And then we dived into Kizaru meeting up with Vegapunk. Listen, remember that Kizaru did not want to hurt Vegapunk. Remember?
I remember that.
Yeah. Fighting with Luffy, right? But then he didn't want to kill Vegapunk, but that was literally the mission. Like, the Marines were actually planning on killing Vegapunk, but instead Kizaru was like, let me just bring you in to the Marines and they will just take care of you and stuff. But then now we get to the latest chapter. The latest chapter was just dropped before the new year, which showed, this is my theory this time, Kizaru sitting on the ground with thought bubbles saying, firstly he said Sentomaru-kun, next thing he said Bonnie, and he was acting concerned for once in his life. If you think about it, have you ever seen Kizaru acting concerned?
Nah, the only time this man is even so chill, even whilst he has a gun pointed at him by Ben Beck.
Because like the whole entire time he has never showed us the side of him, and I think in a way this plays as a character development for Kizaru. Now, which brings me to my next theory, which states that in this very recent chapter which just dropped before the new year, I think that Kizaru is the one who fed Luffy, because no one is able to move at that point, okay? No one. But Kizaru, for some reason, I saw another small little bubble which also formed, but I think like it's dust, I think it's air coming from Kizaru. I think he's able to move a bit, right? I think he's able to move, and I think he may have used his light devil fruit to bring Luffy food. So what do you think about that?
For some reason, I already know that Kizaru already acknowledges that Straw Hat is actually a menace. He's one that can basically handle the situation because he doesn't want to do what the world government basically tells him. He understands that it's a mission and an assignment.
Yeah. And he's always been like the obedient one out of almost all the admirals. I think Kizaru is by far the only one who's proven that he's actually fit to be like a true admiral right here. Okay, so Kuma's backstory. I know like a lot of us were like, we want this backstory, right? We want it. We want to know what actually is happening with Kuma's life. Like, this character is interesting. Even after what happened in NA's lobby, we actually couldn't wait to find out what was happening. But then, as soon as we received it, and as soon as we got the whole entire story, I was like, man, that's like, it was a lot, okay? A lot to take in. Now I understand why Bonnie cried after seeing Kuma's memories.
Not gonna lie, Kuma basically says, "I'm not the stepfather. I'm the father who stepped up."
Oh my goodness, this arc, that true MVP who's taking the MVP award, I think it has to go to Kuma, bro. Kuma, the best father of 2023. It's Kuma.
Kuma, we basically wanted to know about him immediately at like Saba Odi when he basically said the Straw Hats fly.
Yeah, I mean like, even now
yeah. And it even got like worse after like Sabaody when we were actually getting to Fishman Island. And we never questioned it ever since.
Yeah, but now remember like when like Kuma like started to send off the straw hats to different islands, right? Now that we have seen the complete flashback, I think you've already seen the panels in which we've seen Kuma's perspective, and now seeing Kuma's perspective, now that scene being played out again, now it hits different because like now you can see that Kuma had a purpose, right? And he was like, I know you are not ready, but Luffy, I believe we could have never had the Luffy we have today. We could have never had Joy Boy. We could have never gotten Luffy in Wano or Egghead. We could have gotten none of that because of Kuma. We have to thank Kuma for all that. The other thing which shocked a ton of us, me especially, Bonnie's age.
Dun 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 dun. Damn.
Ah, Bonnie's age. Now, when it comes to Bonnie's age, I was shocked, flabbergasted. I was like, oh, okay, 10-year-old. So older. We have a few
Yeah,
things from
Blackbeard is
Blackbeard.
not defeating those allegations.
Oh yeah, not only Blackbeard, but if you could recall, I'm putting it all this out, this paperwork onto Eiichiro Oda himself. What why did he decide to draw a 10-year-old? Understand now. Okay, I think at the same time I understand, but at the same time now I'm like, remember that scene in which they landed on Egghead and then everyone's clothes were wet and then they had to dry them up? Remember Bonnie? Remember that one panel?
Oh boy. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
boy.
yeah.
Oh boy.
Oda has
Oh
his
boy. Oh boy. No 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 no
Oda
no.
has some explaining to do, and I think like I know she's a child now, and then she had the mind of a child, and she was like, I have no problem drying my clothes in front of other people, but Oda, what was the reason for that? I mean, like I know it was some sort of foreshadowing that Bonnie's actually a child, and that's why she was comfortable with drying up her clothes in front of Jinbei, Luffy, and Chopper. But at the same time, I'm like, pause, man, pause. Like, I know you cooking, but like, what were you doing in that studio that day?
She's still a she's still a minor. Wait, hold up. Wait, am I? Does that mean that Bonnie has actually drunk alcohol or something like that?
Ooh, wait, but actually, Bunny did say
So that
some.
okay. So now Oda's cards have gotten into like a higher perspective. Basically, child nudity. Next, you got underage drinking.
But no, 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 no,
Next,
no, no.
you got pedophilia. Blackbeard is not PlayStation.
But no, no, no. Wait. If you think about it, has it ever been said that Bonnie drinks alcohol? Think about it, because in the previous flashbacks, we did see one panel with one line saying Bonnie drinks juice, right? Think about it. Have you seen any sort of panel saying Bonnie's about to drink some wine or like, I don't know, a whiskey or something? Think about it. Have you seen it? Have you heard of it?
I'm gonna have to look back.
Yeah, look
I'm gonna
back,
have to
because
look back.
if you look at some of
But
the drawings of Bonnie's drinks, they looked a lot like juice, okay? They looked a lot like juice. They didn't look like alcohol. Thank you everyone who has watched back at home. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like if you have a like, and comment on whatever we have missed on today's recap. If there's anything you want to discuss, continue discussing it down in the comments below, and make sure to hit the notice. You can always stay notified with when I'm dropping content, and I'll see you all in the next one. Happy holidays, happy new year, and thank you once again, Silent Kid, for joining me on today's show.
yep, great to be here always.
Okay.
Hope we can do this another time.
Yep, hopefully. And
Adios, amigos.
I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, everyone.